Hey everybody, Solo Boondocker Freddy here. Today is a Friday morning and I'm here at the roadside fishing hole that I go to. Got a line in the water, seeing what happens. Maybe I'll get lucky. But today's topic I like to talk about is something I've been looking into in the past 2 weeks. And I checked other places, and even people like myself who put up their own kind of videos have looked. I subscribed to a girl yesterday, and she was amazed because she never knew, and I don't think a lot of people know about this subject I'm about to talk about. But what it is every year, every year, almost month to month, people of the United States, Canada, and across the world, but mostly I'm going to talk about the United States. Across the United States, people go into our state and national parks and are never seen again. They just completely disappear. No one knows what happens to them. No one knows where they're gone. There'd be search rescue teams out there, hundreds of people, dogs, helicopters, scanning a whole range of areas trying to locate these people alive, and not a clue, nothing. Every once in a while they'll find articles of clothing like their backpack, their shorts, a shirt, shoes, but no person, no skeleton. And when the people are found, they're found years later, months to years later, they are found. And they are found in places where search and rescue teams have gone over several times, and they were never found. And those people that are found immediately, they are found, some of them are alive, some are dead. And when they are found, it looks like to me about 80% of them are found without their shoes on. There's no shoes, pairs of shoes anywhere. No one's ever been able to find them. They just don't have any idea where all these people's shoes go to. I mean, it's crazy. And then, I know there's a thing when you get hyperthermia, that you get to the point that your body feels like it's too hot. So people have done it. They actually start walking down, getting extremely hot, and start tearing off clothing, and then they succumb to hypothermia and they die. But in cases like that, you can actually follow the clothing and find the person. In these parks, especially Yosemite State Park in Wyoming, is one of the craziest places I've heard. I mean, it's beautiful. There's people go there by hundreds of thousands each year to visit, and out of all those people, some don't come out. And there's lots and lots and lots and lots of cases like that, where single people, trailing down the road, and even with a group of people, they were the last in line, trailing behind. They stopped to talk to them. They said, no, keep going. By the time they get down the hill, 20, 30, 40 minutes later, that person's nowhere to be found. They didn't hear anything. They didn't see anything. No one saw or heard anything. No screams. I mean, where are all these? And it's just not, regular people. There's kids missing, older people, mentally impaired people have been gone missing. The one thing I did see, that if you carried a weapon for protection, and that's not always true, because I did find one case where a gentleman went into, I forgot the name of the park, it's in Arizona. I think maybe it was Joshua Tree and State Park. And he went in one time, was hiking, and he came across a cave in the shape of an M, and as he approached, he can feel like something wasn't right, and he decided to take off from that area and head back. He made it back safely. I think it was like a couple days or a week or two later. He comes back out, this time prepared with a weapon for protection, and he went out to go try to find that cave again. Went in, sent I think one picture or video of himself to somebody, and was never found again. They found his cell phone at the entrance of a mine, but he himself was nowhere to be found. I don't know if they actually went into the mine to search for him, but they didn't state what they did. They just found his phone in front of an old abandoned mine up there, but nothing was ever found. Now this man was young, healthy. He was active, carrying a nice weapon that he said that he knew how to use, and disappeared without a trace. There's Olympia State Park in Washington. It's another place. Man, people in that area go in there hiking, biking, and it was so strange how these people were just like sitting at camp, at their campsite, designated camping area with other people camping. They would just go and say, hey, I'm going for a walk on the trail. I'll be back in a couple hours. And 4 or 5 hours later, that person hasn't shown up yet, so they go looking for him to see maybe if he's on the trail somewhere taking a break or something. Disappeared. And if you guys don't believe me, you go ahead and check that out. Disappearances in our national parks. Google it. You will be shocked and surprised of how many people go missing. I mean, and then there's the thing with the kids, where they're right there in front of their cabins. Parents rent a cabin out in some of these parks, sit there and having fun, enjoying the day, and like normal parents, they got the stuff to do. They can't keep an eyeball on their kid the whole time when they got things they got to get done, get dinner, lunch, whatever ready for everybody to eat, and kids are playing around. This one kid asked his mom for the keys to the truck. She watched him walk to the truck, open the door. She turned around for, I think she said like a few minutes, turned back up, looked, and was running where her son was. Walked over to the truck. The truck door is open, keys are on the floor, the cookies are still inside the truck, and the kid is gone, missing. No one around, no screaming. No, a kid would put up a fight. A kid would scream if somebody just came up, unless they got chlorophyll or something they put over their mouth, but still, they should have been something. I mean, the parents wasn't no more than 50, 60 feet away from them. And the kid just completely disappeared. They do an immediate search around the area. Nothing. And some of these kids disappear like that, and when they are found, they're found like 10, 12 miles away. And this one kid, 12-year-old kid, was found and he would have to have ran full steam for 19 hours or something like that, over 2 mountain peaks. How that kid got there, and then he didn't have shoes, and there was not a scratch or anything wrong with his feet. Look that story up. I mean, that is some crazy stuff, and this is not just some conspiracy thing. You can actually see the case records that's been filed, and you can actually see what newspaper clippings and news reports about all these things that's going on. These people were they had hundreds of search and rescue teams out there looking for these people for 2 weeks at a time, sometimes 10 days, and then the weird thing is, right after the person has gone missing, for some mysterious reason, it always storms. There's always some kind of storm that happens that hampers everybody from searching for these people. I mean, it was one of the constant thing in hundreds I mean, hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands of cases where the day the person gone missing and they get search and rescue is ready to go out, a big major storm happens. Rainstorm, snowstorm, fog, heavy fog rolls in, making visibility impossible. Air crews can't fly. And then it lasts for several days, and then they finally go back out to find these people, and they're not located because there's 4 feet of snow now on the ground, or the rain washed away any sign of footprints that this person may have been going through. I mean, it's just the weirdest thing. I want everybody to go ahead and take a look at that yourself, and you'll see what I'm talking about. If you start doing a little bit of research, you'll see all the cases that's come up. So now, I've been staying in state parks. I've been staying out in the Ocala National Forest. I didn't hear anything bad about there. I don't really go hiking by myself for hours at a time. But there's some places I would like to go and see, and now it makes you think. Now, the one thing they said, never go alone. And if you go alone, carry a weapon. Another thing is to carry an emergency beacon, like an EPIRB or something, where you can, if you get lost or something happens, you hit that button and it sends a signal, and they'll find you within 8 feet through a satellite. So, but that's for, train of thought. Only I bring this one story up because, I've been staying at a lot of state parks and national parks, national forests, and I plan on doing so in the future even more. But now, with this type of information, I'm now to be a lot more cautious. These people that disappear is, wow. I mean, another place is Mount Shasta in California, Northern California, Mount Shasta. It's a volcano. Not active, but it's a mountain. People go up there, and lots. You should check out stories about Mount Shasta in California. There's some creepy, weird shit that happens over there, and it's been going on for years. I mean, ever since any of these places have become open as a state park or national forest area, people have been disappearing. And even before that, I'm sure people disappeared, but no one really looked into it. No one really went after anyone. They just figured that they just walked into the woods and disappeared. But I'm not claiming here that it's Bigfoot or aliens. My thing is this: I believe these people are walking into places and something happens to them. They forget where they're at. They don't know what they're, I don't know, some crazy shit. Next thing you know, they take off their shoes, leave their shoes, and they start walking barefoot. Maybe because, I mean, you're hiking. I can see why people would take off their shoes. I would take off my shoes, my socks, sit there on top of a rock, air out my feet, dry it up, check any for blisters for, doing that hike. And then all of a sudden I look over and there's a bear. And you start running. And this thing is chasing you down. Next thing you know, oh, off the side of the cliff you go, because you weren't paying attention, because you were looking backwards to see where the bear was. And then you're killed. But then, there's no sign of anything happening. It's almost anything could happen. So I can't rule any one thing out or rule anything as the culprit that's doing it. I would like to do a little bit more investigation to see what I can find, but a lot of these people are just never found, ever. I mean, there was this one really pretty girl. She read this book about this guy who went up this mountain and found peace and tranquility. He wrote a book. I guess he made enough money to I don't know. I thought that was weird that this guy wrote a book about something that he's done, that he said he lives, and this girl packs up everything, drives thousands of miles across country to get to this place. They find her vehicle in the woods, hundreds of dollars in cash laying there, all her personal items laying there, No sign, no way, no wire. That girl's never been found. So that's my train of thought for today. Stay tuned. We'll be heading over to Charlie's next week, going to James' birthday party for Memorial Day weekend, so I should have a good video or two for that. But till then, this is Solo Boondocker saying, see ya!